Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori Brame and this is Holy City Mystic. Thank you for being here. So y'all, I went to my Mars line. It was actually my Mars MC line and it was really close to my zenith. And it was crazy. It was crazy. All right, first of all, it was Hawaii. And the reason we were there was because good friends of ours, my boyfriend and I, were getting married. So we were so excited to be invited. It was really awesome. I, of course, looked up the Astrocartography as soon as we booked the tickets, and it was on my Mars Midheaven line, and it was on my boyfriend's Sun Ascendant line. So I knew it was going to be good. It was going to be good for both of us. I actually have Mars as the ruler of my chart, so I'm like, all right, this is dope. I've never been to a Mars line. This is really exciting. I'm going to do this. So, and just the fact that it was so close to my zenith, like I was like, all right, that's crazy. So yeah, really excited about it. A lot of stuff happened. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff that happened. And so I am just doing this video to tell you guys about it because I had to take a couple weeks off just because of jet lag. And then we had my kid and the stepkids here for an entire week, which was so awesome and wonderful, but like YouTube didn't happen. So thank you guys for hanging out if you're still here. So Mars Midheaven line. First of all, Mars is pretty well aspected in my chart, so it's not like a huge malefic or anything. And Mars MC lines, like that's the work you do for your career. So I was really excited to have that. So I was super excited to go. So for my career, I have a full-time job and I also have 2 YouTube channels. I actually have 3, but one is like just for kids, so I don't really talk about it too much. So I have this one, Holy City Mystic, where I talk about astrology, and then this one is like kind of linked to my Etsy, where I offer readings. And then my other one is, it's just my first and last name, Tori Brame, and it is talking about lupus and depression and medications and different stuff that I've been through. So that one is super old. I started that one in 2020. So someday I would love to do astrology stuff full time. I think that would be absolutely amazing. I am actually an author as well. And so if I could like make a living off of my YouTube channels, book sales, and readings, I would be like a super happy camper. Like I just think that would be absolutely amazing. But I do love my job. I am very dedicated to it, so I want to hang on to that too. So I'm kind of blah, like I'm all over the place. My Mars is in Gemini, so if you know anything about that, it's very scattered. I want to do a million projects, don't always finish them, etc. So that is me. That is what I'm working with. So I was definitely looking out for different things while I was on my Mars MC line. I was like, I want to see how this affects me, if anything comes up, anything like that. So I stayed there for a week, and on the second day we were there, I actually had a conversation with one of the bride's family members where we spoke about my career in the nonprofit world. And she had just gotten out of like 30 years in nonprofit, and she now has this job where it's like unlimited PTO, it's work from home, it's salary, and it's kind of like do your work and we don't really care what hours you work, and it's like 3 times as much as she was ever paid in nonprofit. So this is like a huge job. She was saying that her employer was actually looking for people who came from the nonprofit world because they know how to keep relationships up with clients. They're just really solid workers to have. And so she just had this conversation, and it kind of like opened my eyes to other possibilities. You know, like if anything happens, like I love my boss to death. And so like if my boss ever decided to leave, I would have a hard time with that. And I don't know if I would stay, honestly. Like how my job is right now, I really love it. It is really hard work. And so I do know that burnout is a definite possibility, but like if she were gone, I don't know how it would go. So it was really nice just to have that conversation and to know like, I don't have to stay in nonprofit. Like if I don't want to stay in nonprofit, I really don't have to stay. Another conversation I had was with a gentleman. It was like a street fair type thing, and he had a lot of artwork that he was selling, and I was with 2 other girls when I was there, and he was just like, are any of you guys artistic? And I also sell jewelry on Etsy and toys, felt toys for kids. Like it's so random. but I do sell that too. So the other girls were just like, oh, don't you like sell something on Etsy or something? I was like, yeah, I do bracelets. And then I asked him, I was like, are you on Etsy? And he goes, no, their commission is too high and I'm trying to do this full time. And I had been like low-key complaining about the Etsy commission because I do offer readings on Etsy and they take a chunk of it as commission. And then you still have to pay taxes on it, and it's just kind of like, you know, my clients are paying something and then I'm like just getting a portion of it. And so I was talking to him about it and he's just like, yeah, I just really sell stuff through my website. That way, you know, I'm getting all the proceeds, and actually hosting the domain is like way less than I would pay on Etsy for commissions. And so I was like, wow, that would be really awesome if I did that. And so it was kind of like right then and there, I decided to have a website. And so that was like a big change from what I've been doing, and I'm still working on the website. I haven't posted it yet. So I will change all those things over when I do post it. So if you are ordering readings from me, you will now go to you will then go to my website and not through Etsy anymore. So that was another thing that was like kind of a career type shift thing that happened while I was there. So the real changes happened when I got home. When I got home, I found out I had gotten a raise while I was gone at my day job. I also found out that the physical location of my center that I manage was moving. So I physically have to move, have to change places. And it was actually happening very quickly. Like, we had kind of heard rumors about, hey, we're gonna have to move eventually. And then I got back and they were like, all right, here's the date. It's in 2 weeks and you're gonna be moving and this is what's gonna happen. And so I was kind of like, oh, okay. And then there were a couple other things that happened at work while I was gone that like just were interesting, you know, like big changes that had happened. And so it was very interesting for me just to go to that line and then feel all the changes. So it was cool too, because it was like, it was MC. It was the energy you give back out to the world. And so it was like career, calling, all those things kind of rolled into one. And there was a lot of changes around them and a lot of changes just in how I perceived the future of all those things going. I really enjoyed it. If you guys want to learn more about astrocartography, I do have a couple other videos where I just talk about my experiences, but another really great YouTuber is called the Pragmatic Astrologer. He's just getting started like me, but he has some really good fast-paced, good explanations about astrocartography and different stuff you can do with that. So I'm going to link his channel below so that you can go check him out as well. But one of the things he always recommends to do is when you go to those areas, take something back, like take a rock or some sand from the area or something like that. And I know some people watching this are just like, not in Hawaii. And it's very true. And I didn't. I was going to take like a piece of lava, but if you've ever seen Moana, you know that's not a good idea. Don't take anything from the land. So the things that I did take back with me were things that I purchased from people who were selling them. I got a necklace, also the leis that I got while I was there from going to different things. I took those home. And so I don't know how to say it. I think it's Pele's curse. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not saying that wrong. But basically the goddess who created Hawaii is very jealous, and she does not appreciate anybody taking any sand or rocks from her creation. So I only took the things that I was able to purchase or the things that were given to me as gifts while I was there. Everything else I left. I did not take anything from the beaches, nothing from the volcanoes, nothing like that. Just left it exactly where it was so that that curse did not follow me home. But then I'm like super intrigued, and so like the whole way waiting for the flight and then getting on the flight and everything, I'm like reading about all the people who've like actually taken rocks from Hawaii and then the horrific things that have happened to them afterwards. So I'm like 99.9% that everything I took was like totally fine and above board, and nothing's blown up yet, so hopefully it was fine. On that guy's YouTube channel, he does talk about like taking things from different places, or like bringing in the energies of other lines, like maybe lines that you can't necessarily visit. Like maybe you have like a Venus ascendant line that goes right through Antarctica and you can't get it to anywhere else. You know, like actually doing things to bring in that line's energy where you probably are never gonna go to Antarctica. Stuff like that. So check him out if you want to. That's really all I have to say about the Mars MC line. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I will see you in future videos.